Hey guys, welcome back to RHR Jen. I'm so glad you're here. Guys, I have such a good show for you today. That PR nightmare that I talked about a couple of days ago with the inventory and the website and all that, uncovered by St. Meghan Markle. Well, it has blown up huge. Everybody's talking about it to the point where a source, and you know what I always say about that, I always assume it's Meghan slash a source has put out a statement, and it is as snarky as you would think it would be. We're going to talk about all that and have some laughs. If you're new here, I'm Jen. Make sure you're subscribed, hit the thumbs up, leave me comments, as all of those helps YouTube to recommend my videos, and I sincerely appreciate that. And I appreciate each and every one of you for hitting the hype button, the thumbs up, all that stuff. It really does help. And thank you to everybody who picked up a copy of Hannah's magazine, The Swish. I talked about that in a video as well. I was able to put out an article in that magazine, and she has gotten back to me and said so many of you have ordered the magazine. That makes me so happy and so thrilled to hear. Sincerely, thank you. I've tried to write back everybody who said they've ordered one. If you ordered one, please let me know so I can write you a thank you. Okay, let's jump into this Meghan stuff because it's big. So, Little Miss Attention, what was it she said? Freakish attention to detail strikes again. Now, in case you missed it, I did do a video on this the other day. You can definitely go back and find that, where I talk about it was uncovered on St. Meghan Markle. Shout out to them for figuring out how much of each item Meghan actually had in stock. Well, since talking about that, and yes, I am convinced she watches my show because she has definitely done clapbacks before on things I've said. I did talk about that a couple days ago. And since she has updated her website, that if you try to do that, you get a message that says something along the lines of, for bulk orders, contact such and such. And it doesn't show the numbers anymore. But Little Miss Freakish attention to detail didn't hide that for a long time. So people figured it out and figured out her massive inventory on all of this. I'm just going to say it, this crap that she's carrying, and it's pretty funny. But again, I talked about that at length. I want to talk about her response. Now, she has put out a response. I'm saying a source has clapped back via Newsweek and says Meghan Markle's website accidentally reveals her sensitive data. All right, I'm going to take a look at some of the lowlights from this article, but I have so many thoughts on this, and I want to read you the snarky comment that her camp or somebody put out. Meghan Markle's as ever online shop has revealed data for how much stock she has through a weakness in the website's design. So again, nothing's ever her fault. Little Miss Freakish attention to detail, constantly messing things up. But this time it's the website's fault. It's not her fault. She wouldn't take the fall for anything ever. So they figured out that she's sitting on 21 million of products. So I had gone with Reddit's estimation of it's probably closer to 4 million, because the 21 million that they're coming up with would be the products at the price that she sells them at. Well, I honestly think it's going to be lower than this because she didn't pay that for the item. She got them at her cost and then, of course, bumps them up to resell. We know how that works. So I do think that that's probably an overestimation. But regardless, I still think it is millions of dollars in the hole that she would be just sitting on these perishable products, if you ask me. But what's interesting is that Newsweek is jumping to her defense. Well, I want to talk about that, okay? So Newsweek, there's a history here with Newsweek. They frequently publish pieces that defend or sympathize with Meghan. This isn't the first time we've seen this, often through these opinion articles or these ways of countering any negative narrative. So, for instance, in June of 2025, they put out a piece called "The Vicious Campaign Against Meghan Markle Must End." Who did they have on? Boozy. Bozo. They had him on to condemn a conspiracy theory such as moon bumps and things like that. And they call it a special kind of cruelty. I'm sorry, again, why is it cruelty when facts are pointed out against her, and yet she can just spout nonsense and proven lies on Oprah and in her podcast and in Harry's book Spare, things like that. And yet that's not cruelty toward the royal family. It's only considered cruelty when it comes against Meghan and Harry. Again, it's just complete ridiculousness. Calling out people's lies and hypocrisy, that is not cruelty. That's just stating the facts. That's what we're doing here as well, showing how it makes no sense the way that she's running her business. That is not cruelty. That's just common sense. But again, Newsweek / Meghan, that's the thing. Meghan just will continue to repeat these things because she's not learning anything. She's not changing anything. She's just going after people that call out her BS. So, but again, Newsweek has a history here. In December 2022, they ran an article defending Meghan after she was labeled a narcissist. Remember, she was featured alongside people like Elon Musk and stuff like that. They called her a narcissist. And the article talked to her supporters. Of course, why get both sides of things? Why not just follow her supporters? Again, like Boozy, you're telling me that people like that are unbiased? I don't think so. In July 2020, they detailed a story of how Meghan was silenced during her pregnancy, facing false and damaging tabloid stories without being allowed to defend herself. Again, without a direct collaboration, it portrays Newsweek as just amplifying her side of the story, which she's accusing the royal family of. I will remind you, the royal family has said nothing against her. Nothing. They have stayed silent. They have carried on. But it's her and Harry that continue to speak out against them. Why talk about the truth when the lies that they come up with are so much more sensational for them. So Newsweek again continues to rally for her side. They're trying to say, oh no, she needed this because she missed out on profit she could have made because, they didn't have enough stock before. So now they've ordered all this stuff. That seems to fit, again, Meghan's narrative. Now, if you remember, she threw out some BS on that Bloomberg piece where they were eating hamburgers and drinking beer, and she's pretending, just to be one of us while going by Duchess. She had said that they had to bump up their order for, what was it, 1 million jars and 1 million lids. Okay, if they needed this much, why would they be sitting on so much inventory? You can't make that make sense at all. It's the worst business decision ever. And again, to me, it just screams more of her just saying whatever she can to get attention and clicks with nothing to back it up. It doesn't make her numbers never make any sense. Her business strategy never makes any sense. I can't imagine she has any PR people. And if she does, she's just going like this when they talk to her. But again, instead of focusing inward and trying to see, hey, where am I going wrong? Why do I continue to have all these problems and all these issues, regardless of what I call the company, from American Riviera Orchard to As Ever and everything in between? Why do I continue to have these problems? No, she'd rather just throw money at the problem and not learn anything and continue to make such crazy mistakes over and over. These aren't mistakes at this point. When you do them over and over and over, that is just I don't give a blank attitude, it appears to me. But again, instead of fixing that, let's just put out articles to try to cover that. Now, in case you missed it, the same thing's going on right now with Ranker. They were ranked the worst celebrities, but instead of fixing anything, I don't know if you've kept up with this, allegedly, there are stories now coming out that their squad have spammed the people at Ranker to try to get their numbers higher. So instead of, again, Little Miss Freakish attention to detail, listening and learning from things and trying to, change paths or change course, or I don't know, heaven forbid, try to be more likable. Good luck with that. I think you have a better chance of selling 1 million jars of whatever crap she's selling than becoming more likable. But instead of trying to course correct, They'd rather just throw money or squad at a problem than actually try to fix what's wrong. That's why they'll never learn, they'll never change. But I digress. I'll get into that in a separate video because I find that completely fascinating. How to become more likable. Spam the people calling you out on that until your numbers appear more likable rather than actually change anything to become more likable. But doing the same thing here with Newsweek, putting out these things. So a source familiar with it as ever. A source, huh? Uh-huh. I assume that's Meghan again. It's exceeded everybody's expectations and in terms of how well it's gone. I would say across the holiday period, that period has been incredibly successful. I'm sure it has. You know how I can tell you're lying? Because we just saw all the inventory you're sitting on. And then I showed where in a couple of hours time posting the numbers, and then people would go back and look at the numbers again, and in 4 hours there were some things she moved 0 product, and in some things, in fairness, I think she moved like 1 product and not much else. So if it's so wildly in demand, you would be able to see bigger products moved, and they're not appearing like that's the case. Huh. But instead of leaving it transparent to show, hey, look, if she was right and she was moving this much product, she would have left it transparent, because then we could see, oh my gosh, you know what? And these 4 hours, she moved 3,000 bottles of rosé or jars of flower sprinkles. But no, that's not what happened. Rather than leaving it transparent, she hid it. So that way nobody could see that no product is actually moving, or very little product is actually moving. Just saying. Why be transparent when you can hide it and lie about it? So they continued on with this statement saying people are attempting to paint a negative narrative and are choosing how to present things. Oh my God. Again, if anybody does that, it's Harry and Meghan. They paint others in these negative lights, like both sides of the family, right? And choose how they share information. Again, look no further. I will say this till I'm blue in the face. This is the easiest example you can give of them doing this. The Oprah interview. Remember? Archie won't get a title because of his skin color. No, that's not what happened. That's what they said happened, but they knew that a lot of people wouldn't understand. That's not how that worked. He didn't get a title until King Charles became king, and then he got a title. And that's exactly what happened. It had nothing to do with his skin color. Why go with the truth when the lie is so much more interesting? So they pushed out this lie in hopes that nobody would catch on. Well, guess what? People caught on and could see that they're lying. But by then they've moved on to other lies. So that's what they do. They're attempting to paint people in negative narrative. That's exactly what they do while accusing others of doing that. It is crazy to see. And that therein lies my complete fascination with these two. They lie to try to paint others in a negative light, and then they just make up a new lie when it suits them. It is absolutely crazy. Absolutely crazy. It's crazy that anybody can continue to support them. The truth is public. The truth is the data that it was exposed on a website flaw, not manipulated media. Anyone could verify it by trying the cart trick before it was fixed. Again, she's boasted of 10 timesing her inventory and ordering 1 million jars, hitting at this massive scale. But we can see the unsold stock piling up. And it's just core hypocrisy. They preach transparency and things like mental health advocacy, yet shield their business data while leaking favorable stories. They sue tabloids for privacy invasion, and yet they invade everybody else's privacy. They cry foul and blame negative narratives. This double standard erodes any kind of trust, not that there's any anyway. And why demand accountability from others but not apply it to themselves? It's a broader pattern with them, right? It's their 2025 R12 tax filings all over again, showing minimal charitable output despite high salaries. The Spotify deal fallout, where they're called grifters and undelivering. They accuse the media of distortion, but their PR machine, such as the books and the podcasts and everything else, they push one-sided tales. It's just business as usual for them. But again, instead of addressing that, they'd rather just put out these fodder through these tabloids. Yes, I'm including Newsweek in that. People that are, in their back pocket, it appears to me, to put out these stories about themselves. Again, little Miss Freakish attention to detail, stage stage reviews and everything else. See, when I fuss, my voice starts to go. So here we go again. But you get the idea. You get what I'm saying here. It's just, I think this is hilarious. Again, way to go, Reddit. Way to go, St. Meghan Markle, for calling this out. It's gone viral. It's mocking the unsold inventory as well as should. And if you follow the pattern there and the sellout rates, this isn't just haters. This is actual data-driven critique that her team dismisses as bias once again. I just think that's so funny. Again, that just shows that they'll never learn. They'll never change anything. Business as usual for the two of them. I don't know. I mean, great. That's great for us because we're just going to watch it go up in flames, or continue to go up in flames, in a pile of perishable goods. Oh my goodness. Can you imagine? Therein lies the hell of their own making. They're just stuck in this. They're not stuck, but they'll never change. So they're putting themselves stuck in this, because they'll never learn from any of this. Anyway, you have to let me know your thoughts on all this. I find it completely hilarious. Again, I mean, it's just a hell of their own making. Public backlash is at an all-time high. I think it's funny that there's, people are celebrating this leak as proof of their overhyped sales. And yet the squatties are burying their head in the sand and calling it a glitch or a troll fabrication. I've had like two people in my comments trying to defend Harry and Meghan, saying, oh no, it's not true. Okay, sure. Tell me how the website lied. I think it's really funny. They're accusing others of selective narratives, but yet fans are strongly ignoring and then selectively ignoring the data and just trying to defend her. I think it's funny that Archwell continues to appear. I'm not in their bank account, but it appears like they're continuing to struggle to the point where they've had to perhaps go belly up and rebrand or just change their name, however you want to look at it. And I just think it's interesting because it's painting further picture of misplaced priorities once again, and lifestyle branding over philanthropy. They can scream from the rooftops that they're trying to do all this good, show up and do good. And it looks like they are hemorrhaging money all over the place and have the craziest, I don't know, priorities. Their priority seems to be just their reputation rather than any substance whatsoever. And I find that funny because I would argue as big a disaster as this business has turned into, their reputations are even worse. Beyond the glitch, I would think that if anybody had any trust in them whatsoever, why? But this would erode that even further. Look at like your high groves and stuff that are focusing on quality over quantity. You don't have that. You can't even call her stuff jam. It's so bad they have to call it spread. Anyway, I'm gonna leave this here. You have to let me know your thoughts in the comments. Are we on the same page? Are you feeling the same way? Let me know. I just think it's so funny. As more staff is going, they need more staff to figure out how to handle this one, because this is pretty bad. Again, if you're new here, I have a background in public relations. I got my degree in that. I've done it for years, and I have to say, I've seen some disasters, but this one takes the cake. I haven't seen anything quite like this before. Usually, it's not, I don't know, like this is pretty bad, like from all angles, because not only is the business on fire, not in a good way, I'm saying it's hemorrhaging and burning. Um, the people in charge seem to be hemorrhaging and burning as well. But let me know your thoughts on all this. That's going to do it for me. Thank you guys so much for being here and for all your support. I appreciate it so much. It means the world to me. If you want to further support this show, you know how to do it. You have to let me know your thoughts on this. You have to leave me your comments. Let's talk to each other and sound off in the comments if you feel like I'm on the right track with this. If you think it is just a glitch and she's doing that well, you can let me know as well in the comments. I doubt that. I want to remind you all that I do have my Amazon links up. That's something I started right before the holidays. So check that out. I have everything from my lipstick color listed to what products I like to use, and just my different equipment stuff. It's all in my Amazon storefront. You can check that out. You don't pay any extra if you click those links. You can see what products I use and order through them if you decide to, or even if you order on your own, it still helps me to click the links, and I really appreciate that. What else? You can support me more by checking out my merch. I've got Everything's Fine. Meghan might need that. Everything's fine. It's not fine. It's hemorrhaging and it's hilarious to watch. And you can check out my Patreon, patreon.com/Real Housewives Recaps. That's where I go on my bonus deep dives. Lots of material, hundreds of videos over there. Check that out if you're interested. Most creators post once a week. I'm posting 3 times a week. For as little as $5 a month, you can have access to my whole back catalog and cancel anytime. Check it out. See what all I'm up to over there and join the flock as well. But that's going to do it for me. Thank you guys so much for supporting, for being here, for hyping, for all that stuff, for clicking on my links. I really appreciate that. And I really can't wait to read your thoughts on all this nonsense. I hope you guys have the best day, and I'll talk to you again soon. Bye-bye. Hi, how are you? How are things? Oh, it's so annoying. I want to yell for another 20 minutes about this, but again, where I'm just getting over this flu. You can hear it toward the end of my videos now. My voice just goes. It just goes. What do we think of the look? I love it. I think it's so fun. It's just cut in this cool shape. The black, it's probably hard to tell details, but it's like a cat suit and it's just kind of fun. I really like this one. So let me know your thoughts. But thank you for all the lovely comments on yesterday's look. I called it tinfoil, and a lot of you said, no, you really liked it. The liquidy silver look. I appreciate that. But yeah, this is just, I don't know why I continue to be surprised by them. I shouldn't be at this point, but it is shocking how bad. Like, I thought 2025 was bad, but 2026 is actually off to a worse start for them. If you go day for day, remember in 2025 at this point, they had just drawn in the sand and done other dumb things. But now day for day in 2026, they're off to a bigger disastrous start. And that's saying something, because 2025 was bad. Anyway, this is going to be fun. All right. That's going to do it for me. As they continue to do more crazy stuff, you know, I'm going to talk about it. I hope you guys have the best day. Thank you so much for being here and for all the lovely comments. I want you to know you mean the world to me. I'm still trying to respond to everybody who's wished me a happy 2026. And I want to say, same to you. You guys mean the world to me. Your kind words, your kind comments. I really do appreciate that. I read them all. I do. You've brightened up every day, even when I was like sick with the plague, just reading that stuff and seeing that and seeing your well wishes now. It just means more than I can possibly say. It really does. Thank you guys for everything. And thank you for all the kind words about the article I wrote for Hannah in the Swish magazine. That has been a dream of a lifetime for me. It really has, to write something. So to be able to do that is just, it just means the world to me. It really does. All right. Thank you, Hannah, for that opportunity. Thank you all for just the daily kind words you leave me, the affirmations you give me, your kind just responses, your just the way you lift me up. It means the world to me. I have not forgotten about my weight loss channel. I still have Goose Adventures. I have not given up on it. I'm just still dealing with this, and I can only talk so much right now before I lose my voice again. So as soon as I'm back 100%, I will be back over there as well. That's going to do it for me. Take care of yourselves. Stay healthy. Goodness gracious. All right. I'll talk to you again soon. Bye-bye.